A new chapter of Non-League to Legend starts today with our first international special. Hello and welcome to Season 16, Episode 3 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev and I'm the England manager. I think we've mentioned this before. I think it's come up once or twice. So this is going to be the first of hopefully many episodes where we're focusing on the international side of things. First, before we get going, some context. And this context is very important because England are rubbish. We didn't qualify for the World Cup. That's why I've been England manager for 6 months and haven't actually had a game yet. I might have forgotten to schedule some friendlies for the summer. But we didn't qualify for the World Cup. We're ranked 31st in the world rankings, which puts us behind such glorious footballing nations as Cameroon, Nigeria, Iran, the Ukraine, Tunisia, Romania, the Republic of Ireland. At 31st in the world. How many teams go to the World Cup? Is that 32? So, even we'd be struggling to get in even if anyone could get in and there wasn't limitations on whereabouts in the world you were from and all that stuff. So England are rubbish. And the main reason England are rubbish is because we're in season 16 of this save now. And when I took over, there were lots of names I recognised still in the England squad. It's that age-old thing in Football Manager where they just hang on to the real life players for too long. So John Stones was still in the team, Luke Shaw was still in the team. There was some others still around as well. Dele Alli, I think, was still around, and they were all old men. And because of that, England lost a lot of games. So for my first squad, we are completely rebuilding, I guess, trying to come up with something completely new. Lots of people coming into the squad who've never played for England before. If we just sort this by caps, most capped player is Ron Osborne, Manchester City player. Second most capped is Nathan Wilkes, a Manchester City player. Third most capped is Modou Fall, who you might remember. Henry Smith is the fourth most capped. Do we remember Henry Smith? This is a test of how long you've been around. He was the guy who, when we were at Ipswich, we signed from Arsenal. He never really got in the side because he came in around about the same time as Aaron and Lacio, if I remember rightly. And then we sold him on to Sheffield Wednesday, where he's had quite a successful sort of 5 or 6 years and has now played 32 times for England and scored 12 goals. Lewis Bradford is up there. Matt Lee is up there for appearances for England. But if we sort it the other way, you'll see we've got 7 uncapped players in our squad. So we're looking to try something a little bit new. I'm sticking to the familiar tactic that we've been starting to use with Manchester City. So hopefully, tactic-wise, we know this one works. And it's just going to be about trying to get the right players in the right position. So there's lots of familiar guys around in this team. Matt Lee, we know about. Ron Osborne, we know about from Man City. The rest of the back four, fairly unfamiliar. Mick Kidd is 23-year-old central defender. Who does he even play for? Norwich. He's uncapped. He's been in and around the Premier League for the last few years. Started out at Liverpool, went to Brighton, has now recently joined Norwich for a massively cut price deal, having not played very many times for Brighton last season. It shows how desperate we're getting, really. That he's coming in and he's straight into the side. David Jackson partners him, who plays for Derby. He's played 24 times for England now, so a bit more experienced. Again, been a Premier League stalwart for 4 or 5 years now. And then Rob Bradley is our left back. He plays for West Ham. He's got 7 caps for England. And again, has been around the Premier League for a good few years. In central midfield, we know all about these two. Nathan Wilkes, Lewis Bradford. That's how they played for us at Man City all last season. So that's something nice and familiar for us. We know what they're going to offer us in the midfield. Obviously, they've both been replaced in the regular Man City team now because they weren't good enough. But for England, they're probably going to be 2 of our most important players because this England squad, much, much weaker than our Manchester City squad. And the perfect demonstration of that is that Massimo Di Iowa is going to be starting on the left wing for England. Who on earth is Massimo Di Iowa, I hear you ask? Well, he's actually a Manchester City player, and I can understand why you've never heard of him, because I'd never heard of him until we saw him in the national pool. But he's been at Manchester City for a few years. He was out on loan to Watford last season. He's actually on loan at Ipswich this season. He's only played 4 Premier League games, 1 for City when he first signed and 3 for Ipswich this season, but he has started with a bang for Ipswich. In his 3 appearances, he's averaging a 7.87, 1 goal, 2 assists. I'm throwing him in mainly for my own curiosity. I want to have a look at him to see if he's going to be a solution for Man City next season, and if he turns out to be good for England as well, all the better. He's only 5'3" as well. Tiny. But, you know, probably should have heard of him. I've been a club manager for over a year. Mark Collins is going to be on the right wing. He plays for Bournemouth. He's played 20 times for England now, scoring 1 goal. And as with a lot of this squad, sort of bobbing in and out of the Championship and not really being a regular in the Premier League, there's not much English talent out there. This is going to be a difficult job. Probably one of the best players in the squad, if not the best player in the squad, Michael Robinson. He plays for Chelsea. He's played 30 times for England now, 26 years old. He is a regular in the all-conquering Chelsea team in this attacking midfield position. So, if nothing else, he should be quite good. And then up front, we could have gone with Modou Fall. We know all about Modou Fall. His England goal-scoring exploits are something we're very familiar with. 34 goals in 38 caps now. And because of that, I kind of don't think we need to play him from the start in this game. We're going to go with Andy Tunnicliffe, who is an Arsenal striker. He's got 16 goals in 27 appearances for England. Been playing regularly for Arsenal for 4 or 5 years. And I don't really know anything about him, so I wanted to give him a try, just to see if he's going to be an option or whether we'll just go back and play Modou Fall regularly. There's lots more players in this squad. I'm sure you'll get to know all of them as the seasons as England manager goes on. This is how I'm going to probably do these episodes. We'll do just one-off England episodes. They'll usually be part of a double upload, but as we did that yesterday, and I didn't want to do 3 Man City episodes all in the first month of the season. We won't do a Man City episode today, but normally I'll try and do it so that we have the normal Man City episode out at 4 or 5 o'clock, and then an England one later on in the evening. But for our first one, it's Easter Sunday. Why not just have an international special? So this is our team. We're playing the Czech Republic away. We're awkward on our tactical familiarity, which is excellent. So don't expect anything fantastic. The Czech Republic are one of 30 teams who are supposedly better than we are. We're away from home, so we should lose. In fact, by rights, we should finish bottom of this International League Division A Group 2 group, because both Czech Republic and Portugal are better than we are, according to the world rankings. Is there anyone we recognise in that team? No, not really. Right, Matthew Kilgallen's my assistant manager for England as well as Man City as well. Me and Matt, big buds, so it just seemed logical to bring him in. The player I'm most interested in this match is Diowa on the left wing. I want him to be brilliant because he'll then be brilliant for us in the league as well, which is what I'm hoping for. Ron Osborne gets the... Oh, there you go, look. Ron Osborne and Massimo Diowa combined to set things up for Andy Tunnicliffe, who scored within the first minute to say, yes, I am an option. This isn't just going to be the Modou Fall show. Thank you for giving me a chance. Now watch me take it. So the ball was bobbling around a little bit, but Osborne bursts through. Diowa, it wasn't even him. It was their defender has done a complete howl up and sort of headed it into the goalkeeper, who's dropped it onto Tunnicliffe's feet. But that's an acceptable start, really, considering how rubbish we're supposed to be. I'm not sure what's going on with the logos. We've got the logo pack in, but I don't know what's happening there. It seems to have broken slightly for international football. Tunnicliffe's picked up a knock now, so we'll leave him on till half-time unless he really starts crying about it. He was moving slowly there, but it didn't stop him scoring a goal. He's not going to want to come off. He doesn't want to give up his spot to Modou Fall, even though for important games we all know it's going to be Fall. So, I mean, look how slow he was, but it was a well-placed finish. So, can't really argue with that, I guess. I don't really understand why there's such a dearth of English talent in the game. We've not got dozens and dozens of leagues loaded on this save. England are one of 4 or 5. And if we look at the sheer quality and quantity of Brazilian and Argentinian players coming through, we saw it at Ipswich. I was forever signing Brazilians and Argentinians who'd never even got a game for their country, who were good Premier League players. Yet with England, we've got players in this squad who aren't even playing in the Premier League at the moment. The 2 backup goalkeepers are both in the Championship. And a lot of these players are sort of not exactly regulars for their league teams. in the Premier League, or they've just come into the Premier League, or they've been bouncing back and forth between the Premier League and the Championship. I don't really know why that is. I'm sure somebody far more learned about me in matters of Football Manager will be able to explain that to me in the comments, but it does seem like a bit of an odd one. Right, we're going to take Tunnicliffe off at half-time. He's got a potential knee injury, and we don't need an injury. We've got another game coming up in a couple of days, so that's not what I was aiming for. Right, let's try that again. Let's bring Modou Fall on. There we go. Playing with Modou Fall in my team again. Who knew this day would come? Is Arendt English? Can we? I think he only ever played once for Germany. Fingers crossed it's in a friendly and we can drag him into the team. A couple of people have asked about Chris and Lacio and Oliveira as well. All these Brazilians that we brought into Ipswich who never actually got Brazil caps. But for whatever reason, although they're now English on their dual nationality, I can't select them. I vaguely remember there being a rule that came into place because of all the swapping and changing of Irish players a few years ago. Daniel Kearns was at the centre of it, who was playing for Posh at the time. And I believe there is an agreement amongst the home nations that you play for the one you were born in, and if you weren't born there, you don't play for anyone else, or something along those lines. I don't really know how it works, because Scotland seem to do it fairly regularly. The likes, again, Posh links, George Boyd, Craig McHale-Smith, both playing for Scotland, but I guess that's because they have Scottish relatives and not because they lived in Scotland, because I doubt either of them have ever been to Scotland apart from when they play for Scotland, or the one or two times they played for Scotland. So I guess there's some kind of rule that says it doesn't matter if you've lived there 5 years or whatever it is. If you're not British, you can't play for a British nation, which is a bit of a shame. There was all that fuss years ago about Manuel Almunia and Edu when they were both at Arsenal, potentially getting England caps, but I guess the rules have changed. I could probably look into it, and I'm sure, again, someone in the comments can tell me all about it and let me know which bits of this I don't understand. Right, we've broken Michael Robinson. In fact, hold your horses. We've broken Michael Robinson. We're not taking him off. He's an important player for Chelsea. Let's run him into the ground, snap his legs. Let's help our league form. Right, Dioa, on the other hand, is tired and not having a particularly good game. So who have we got? We've got no one else who can play on the left wing. Robinson can go out there, stretch his legs a bit. No, we're not taking Robinson off. I'm taking Dioa off. And let's have Henry Smith. We haven't seen him for years. I certainly never thought I'd be managing a team with Henry Smith in it again. Right, it would be nice to nick a win. Although, really, a draw is a good result in this game, bearing in mind how rubbish we're supposed to be. I know in real life it probably wouldn't be seen as a good result. Full disclosure, I'm recording this before I know what happens in the England-Germany game in real life, so we might have lost that 10-0, in which case going away to the Czech Republic and drawing would be seen as okay. But we've just gone 3-2 up, which is rather pleasant. Collins, don't know his first name. We'll call it Colin Collins, has just put us 3-2 up. What's his name? Mark, there we go. Not Colin. Right, Nathan Wilkes can come off now. So I assume we're only allowed 3 subs in this tournament. Ernest Adu, actually, he's a player who I was on the verge of signing for Man City in the summer. It was between this guy and Jans to come in as our young option in midfield, and I went for Jans in the end. But I mean, look at the stats on this guy. He's pretty much as good. So, I mean, he's, 23 years old, and he's been playing regularly in the Premier League for 5 years now. What I don't understand is when he's been playing that regularly in the Premier League and he's this good, why he's only played once for England before. But I guess it all comes down again to the whole wanting to keep the originals involved. Right, let's see if it'll let us take Ron Osborne off as well. I don't know if we're allowed a 4th substitution. I don't really know the rules of this tournament. Is this even a real tournament? Right, whoever Liam Talbot is... No, we can't. In fact, I do know who Liam Talbot is, because he's another one we tried to sign in the summer from Man United. He can play anywhere across the midfield and the back four, basically. He doesn't look massively special just yet, but he's only 19 and he's going to get better. So we're going to keep an eye on him, because I want him for Man City. But for some reason, Man United are reluctant to sell their wonder kid to us, and I don't understand why. Personally, I think it's sour grapes because we're the biggest team in Manchester and they don't like it. Have we won this game? I think we may have won an international game. How far is this going to throw us up the world rankings? Don't go and... Oh, for goodness sake. Stupid counting of chickens, etc. I mean, that's gone in after... Oh, it's not quite after the... We were supposed to have 3 minutes, and that's gone in with... How many seconds to go? That's gone in with 8 seconds of the game remaining, and it's now 3-3. I mean, really, that should still be enough to give us a... If they score here, then I'm going to vomit all over my microphone. Good. That should still be enough to give us a little boost in the world rankings, hopefully, because that's a game we should have lost. We've managed to come away with a draw, and we've played really well. We've got a friendly coming up now. We're going to play Uruguay, so we'll stick that one in as well. And, oh, hang on. I've just forced Man City to have to pay some money to Norwich for Iowa. Oops. Right, let's go and play Uruguay. So, a couple of changes for the Uruguay game. This one's only a friendly, so less important, but still important in trying to build up some of this tactical familiarity from awkward, which isn't ideal, is it really? So, who have we got making debuts, or at least coming inside? Freddie Cook is making his debut. He plays for Reading. He's 23 years old. Another one who's not a particularly fantastic defender. I mean, look at this for career history. Has never played a game in the Premier League. He's only played one season in the Championship, and it wasn't his most recent season. He's just signed for Reading from Newport now, having had a relegation season with Newport, and previously playing with them in League 2 and League 1. So, you know, he's England quality. I mean, it's a desperate situation, it really is. We've also got Zidkiga Prescott is making his debut. He's a 20-year-old. He's an Arsenal player, but on loan at Derby. He's played 2 Premier League games, so you know he's full of bundles of experience. He's had a season on loan at Oldham in League 1 and Fulham in the Championship, but has played 2 games on loan at Derby so far this season. Might be a little bit better, but why not have a look at him? I realise I could put Ernest Adu in that position, but where's the fun in that when we've got someone with a name like Zidkiga Prescott, who we can put in the side. Wilkes moves up into the attacking midfield role because the 2 players who got injured in the last game have both gone back to their clubs. That's why we've brought in a few more randomers. And Modou Fall is going to play up front because he's the only proper striker left in the squad. So, I mean, this this team says a lot about where England are. I mean, having Crook in the side, having never played a Premier... I mean, has that ever happened? Has anyone ever played for England before, having never played a game? I won't say in the Premier League, because I know there have been players who've only ever played abroad, or player. Owen Hargreaves is the only one I can think of. But has anyone ever played for England, having never played a top-flight game in any country previously? I'm a trendsetter. I'm a maverick, you know. There are no players. I mean, I don't know how long I'm going to last as England manager. I thought, England didn't qualify for the World Cup. Easy, I can solve that problem. And then I saw the players that we had at our disposal. Freddie Crook has scored on his debut. I am a tactical genius. I can spot a player. I noticed that lad down in League 1. I always knew he would be international quality. No one else ever recognised it, but I saw it in him. And here he is. Look at this, a towering header. Freddie Crook, international superstar. When he retires in 10, 12 years' time, having never again got into an England squad, he'll forever be able to tell his grandkids that he did play for England once. He scored. He's got a 100% goal-scoring record for England. Never mind the fact he was playing in the conference by the time he was 25, and he never played in the Premier League. He's got a 100% goal-scoring record for England, and that I've just given him a story to dine out on for the rest of his life. He could end up I might sign him for City. He might end up being brilliant. I don't think he will, but he's like the James Maloney of international football. If you don't remember James Maloney, you need to go back and watch some of the older videos. Goal a game, right back, legend of Ipswich Town. Right, I think we're going to go into half-time 1-0 up, which is rather pleasant. Is Christian Pies, is he playing for Uruguay? Is he still a thing that exists, or have Ipswich ruined him? Guerra, is that my Guerra from Man City, the centre-back who looks like he's playing in midfield for them? I should probably have a look at this Uruguay team. I think that's Rodrigo Guerra. we know about him. We'll have a look at their team at half time. It's 1-1, by the way. You might have noticed a goal went in. Although I wouldn't blame you for not really paying attention, because it's basically like watching a League One game, but they're wearing international shirts. Right, how do we look at the opposition? I always get confused here. Let's look at formations. That will help, probably. No, look at their team. Yes. Oh, look! It's a Kev midfield pairing. We've got Rodrigo Guerra, who's a Manchester City player. Didn't make it into our Premier League squad for this season, though. And Christian Paz, who is still at Ipswich. And, he plays every now and again now. I mean, look, he played at Leverkusen and Milan. He should have been brilliant, but never really established himself at Ipswich. Well, there you go. There's no one else we recognise. Probably should have noticed both of them before the match, though. Right, do we need to make any half-time changes? How are we... it's just a poor team. Go on, Prescott is on a yellow card. He'll probably get himself sent off in his only England appearance. This is going to be... Why are we wearing red when we're at home, by the way? Is that what England do now? They're so rubbish, they're not even allowed to wear their home shirts at Wembley. That's how bad it's got. I imagine, knowing how international football works, this is the new kit and they want to sell it to school children outside the ground. Right. Modu Fall, do something special like we know you can. No, it's not quite what I had in mind. Have another try. Give it to Modu Fall. Yeah, still not really what we were looking for. Prescott showing his class there as well. And, this is not... I mean, we're... Uruguay have had 2 clear-cut chances. They've had more possession, more shots. They're just a better team than we are. Again, they're much higher up the world rankings than we are, so we're supposed to lose this game. Oh, good, we are now. I'd hate to think we wouldn't lose a game we're supposed to lose. That would be terrible. Right, let me know in the comments, how soon am I going to get sacked as England manager? Not that I'm really bothered, because I'm earning £86,000 a week on top of the 56 grand a week I'm earning from Man City. So I'm just going to keep on picking League One players and chuckling all the way to the bank until someone tells me to stop, which they haven't done so far, because I'm the only good English manager around. Right, let's take Modu Fall off. We'll bring on Henry Smith, because we know who he is. I can't believe England are so desperate that he's the backup option when we need a goal. Mark Collins, you can come off. We don't have any right wingers. Why would we? What do we need right wingers for? Right, we'll go to a diamond then. We're going to take Diowa off as well, even though he's been our best player. Perhaps we won't go to a diamond. We've got no one on that side. Should we do the lopsided City system? No, we won't. We don't have anyone who can play on the right-hand side of the pitch. Collins, you're staying on. Right, we'll take Wilkes off. We must have attacking midfield players. Nathan Wilkes, off you come. Peter Watson, not Percy? No, and should we take off Zidkagar as well, because he's going to get himself sent off otherwise. I might give Liam Talbot... No, Ernest Adu. He's the future of England. Future England captain. I'm calling it now. Ernest Adu. He's about the only promising youngster we've got. Apart from Diowa, who is officially Canadian. I checked. He is Canadian, but has lived in England long enough to play for England, which I don't get why Canadians can do it, but Brazilians can't. There's rules somewhere that someone needs to explain to me about how you get into the England team. Perhaps Chris and Lacio just don't want to. Although you'd think now it's me as manager and we've got Matt Lee and Modu Fall, they'd be interested in getting the band back together. I'd just go to the Ipswich tactic. Johnny Vaughan in behind Lacio and Fall, Chris in midfield, Matt Lee in goal. Oh, it'd be beautiful. But apparently they're not bothered. I bet I'm allowed 2 more substitutions because it's a friendly. Henry Smith has just scored for England. He's still got terrible hair 5 years on. Let's see if we can make a couple more substitutions, actually. Well, Adu's got himself booked now. I want to get Liam Talbot into the side. I'm going to bring him on for David Jackson, if it lets me. It does let me, but we'll put Ron Osborne into the centre. No, we'll keep Crook playing in his position and let Osborne play on the wrong side. Who else can we bring on? Should we change the goalkeeper? No, let's not, because they're rubbish. Who else is having a bad game? Adu's only just come on. Collins, we already know about. Lewis Bradford, you can come off. And for you, we will bring on Carl Bird. Goodness me. Who do you play? Who are you, Carl Bird? Do we know? Are you the player who played in the last game? No. Wow, he's 26 and has never played for England. And he's been at Leeds in the Championship his entire career, but has now played 3 Premier League games. So, he's more qualified to be in this team than Crook is. Oh, I forgot we scored a goal. Look at that. That's international football. We lumped the ball forward to our Championship striker who managed to score. Let's see. Watch your backs, Brazil. We're coming for you. When's 4 years till the World Cup? Loads of time. We don't need 4 years. Move it forward. We'll be fine. Right, so this is going to be another draw, isn't it? But of course, at this point in the last game, I said we'd won, and then so Uruguay, go and score your goal, put me out of my misery. We're not going to, surely. Adu across to Bird, who skillfully plays in a Uruguay player, and that's it, 2-2. Well, apparently that's unacceptable. To be honest, Uruguay are about 8th in the world, so I think that was acceptable, not unacceptable. But Matt, you do your thing. In Matt Kilgallen we trust. If you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure you pop a like on there, subscribe to the channel as well to see more of this stuff. And let me know if this is the right way for me to do the England episodes, or whether we should just mix them in with the City stuff. The games usually come in 2s. Do you want these as just standalone normal episodes? Do you want them to be double upload type things? I don't know. Do you want the next 2 are friendlies, I think? Do you want to see them at all, or do we just skip over the friendlies and only do the important stuff? Your feedback in the comments, as ever, will be much appreciated. And thank you very much for watching.